There's a war brewing in the world of semiconductors, and China is at the center of it all. With a global chip shortage causing chaos in industries from automotive to consumer electronics, China has made a bold move to level the playing field by attempting to destroy the chip shortage altogether. But this is just a noble effort to address a shortage. Or is there something more sinister at play? Some experts believe that China's real goal is to undermine the US auto industry and establish itself as a technological superpower. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're exploring the fascinating world of international trade and technology to uncover the truth behind China's ambitious plans. We'll examine the origins of the semiconductor industry, the factors contributing to the current shortage, and the potential ramifications of China's efforts. So get ready for a deep dive into the intersection of technology and global power politics. This is a story you won't want to miss. It is useful to begin by looking into the history of the industry in order to have a better understanding of the present scarcity of semiconductors. Since the middle of the 20th century, semiconductors have been an essential part of the electronic industry, and their significance has only increased with the proliferation of personal computers and the internet. Throughout the course of its history, the sector has been subjected to a number of cycles consisting of booms and busts. At times of strong demand, businesses have made significant investments in increasing their production capacity, only to be left with surplus capacity when demand drops. China is countering US efforts to shut off its supply of semiconductor technology by investing $143 billion to fight back. The monies will be utilized to give financial subsidies and incentives to assist China's chipmakers in the pursuit of developing and acquiring semiconductor technology in order to compete with the advances made by the United States. According to the experts, this is one of the three actions that Beijing has taken in order to preserve the semiconductor businesses that supply the nation's massive electronics, automotive, and military hardware sectors. China believes that semiconductors are an important strategic resource. According to Lourdes S. Casanova, director of the Emerging Markets Center at Cornell University, because of this, aims to become self-sufficient in all elements of sophisticated chip design and manufacture. The use of these monies is intended to strengthen China's capabilities in the direction of this objective. In October, the administration in Washington issued an order that prohibited American businesses from providing Chinese businesses with semiconductor chips, chip-making gear, and upgrades for previous purchases. It also made it illegal for nationals of the United States to work for semiconductor companies in China. Thursday, the United States government expanded its crackdown on China's chip industry by adding memory chip maker YMTC and 21 major Chinese players in the artificial intelligence chip sector to a trade blacklist maintained by the Commerce Department. This action was taken in response to an earlier announcement by the US government. It will no longer be possible for YMTC suppliers to export items made in the United States to the company without first obtaining a license. The move by the United States is likely to have repercussions not only for China's semiconductor industry, but also for dozens of other industries, including electronics, artificial intelligence, and automobile manufacturing, all of which rely on chips manufactured in the United States by companies such as NVIDIA and AMD. There is a lot riding on this. For example, in the first half of 2022, manufacturers of electric vehicles in China own 56% of the worldwide market. These kinds of cars are very dependent on semiconductor chips. According to some industry analysts, the directive from the United States might potentially compel non-American firms that use American technology to stop providing assistance to China's most successful manufacturing facilities and chip designers. The process of disputing the order imposed by the United States at the World Trade Organization has been started by China. The United States has been accused by the Chinese government's Ministry of Commerce of generalizing the idea of national security and misusing export control procedures, which impedes the regular international commerce in chips and other items. The effort by the United States would be considerably less effective if chip makers in other countries, especially Japan and the Netherlands, took advantage of the market vacuum and increased their supply to China. U.S. companies have also been taking action to mitigate the impact of the chip shortage. Many have been stockpiling chips, working with suppliers to secure additional supply, and in some cases, reconfiguring their products to use different types of chips. However, these efforts can only go so far, and some companies have been forced to reduce production or delay the release of new products. This has had a significant impact on various industries, including automotive, consumer electronics, and telecommunications. Despite these efforts, there are concerns about the potential consequences for the U.S. auto industry. American automakers rely heavily on semiconductors, and with China's plans to limit access to chips, they may face significant challenges in the years to come. There are concerns that the U.S. may fall behind in the global automotive market, which could have significant economic consequences for the country. Some experts have suggested that the U.S. government may need to step in with more substantial support for the auto industry, such as providing funding for chip productions or imposing restrictions on exports of U.S.-made chips to China. This would make the U.S. approach much less effective. This is conceivable due to the fact that the brand new package worth $143 billion will make it feasible for Chinese businesses to charge bigger rates. The United States of America is urging both of these nations to reject purchase orders from the Chinese government. During the visit of Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi, which is scheduled to take place later this month in China, China is quite likely to bring up this matter. This will be the first time that Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs has been to China. There is a good chance that China will consider the matter. This would make it abundantly evident that cutting off the supply of semiconductor technology would be detrimental to ties between China and Japan. Casanova said that other European nations, including the Netherlands, would most likely follow the stance of the United States. Yet, some nations have shown a greater degree of reluctance. For example, Mexico and Brazil did not exclude Huawei as a potential supplier of telecom equipment in the 5G auctions that were held in both countries, she noted. She said that it is impossible to speculate on how Japan would react to the request made by the United States. China is Japan's most important trading partner, accounting for 22% of total commerce, followed by the United States, which accounts for 18.5%. It has not been reported that the United States has attempted to prevent Taiwan, which is its close ally, from doing business with the Chinese semiconductor sector. Taiwan is the location of the headquarters of TSMC, the biggest semiconductor firm in the world. Since 2005, China has become the world's biggest importer of semiconductors, and the majority of China's semiconductor sector depends on imports from Taiwan's TSMC, said Casanova. China is also the world's greatest consumer of semiconductors. The uncoupling of China's semiconductor sector from the global supply chain might have a negative impact for consumers in the United States, in addition to reducing the amount of business done by American businesses that provide chips to Chinese corporations. When the United States continues to step up its attempts to impede the growth of China's advanced semiconductors industry, there will be repercussions for consumers throughout the world and in the United States, who will invariably be required to pay higher costs. According to Roberts, there is a possibility of a deficit in the supply of the various items that employ chips, including automobiles, mobile phones, and electrical gadgets. At the same time, the United States has come to the realization that it would not be simple to deprive China of semiconductor technology unless it gets the support of other nations. In October, a report came out from the Peterson Institute of International Economics, an economic research group located in Washington, D.C., that said nations that provide semiconductors are tightly connected to one another in a supply chain. China, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and the United States are the 5 largest manufacturers of semiconductors in the world, and each of these countries is also a significant importer of chips. According to the report, not all chips are created equal, and no manufacturer specializes in each and every kind of chip, which leaves even the biggest exporters dependent on imports. In spite of the challenges, the administration of President Joe Biden has shown that it is resolved to decouple the Chinese semiconductor sector from the global supply zone. According to experts, the trade war in the chip sector is going to become even more intense since chips are essential to China's goals for both its security and its economic expansion. The global chip shortage has had a major impact on various industries, particularly the automotive sector. China's ambitious plans to address the shortage and boost its domestic chip production have raised questions about its underlying motives and potential effects on the global trade and technology. Meanwhile, the U.S. government and businesses have been taking steps to respond to the shortage and mitigate its consequences. As the situation continues to unfold, it will be interesting to see how it impacts the global economy and the balance of power in the tech sector. Will China's efforts to boost its chip production pay off? Or will the global semiconductor industry continue to be dominated by companies in the US, South Korea, and Taiwan? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative and thought-provoking, Please consider subscribing to our channel for more videos on technology, business, and global affairs. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content.